Hey, so today let's talk about why resting your elbow may be making your tennis elbow pain worse and what can you do instead. Now, tennis elbow, as we all know, can be anything from a simple pain in the elbow to something that stops you right into your tracks because tennis elbow is a pain that is usually not just localized to your elbow, but it can travel down your forearm, up your arm, etc. So, as an executive mom, you may be no stranger to pushing through that discomfort, that pain from tennis elbow. But when it creeps into your day, maybe it's from carrying your child, typing all day, or just scrolling on your phone, it can start to interfere with everything from your family to your work life to everything in between, right? Now, your first instinct may be that you need to rest your elbow, uh, rather rest your elbow completely. Now, that is okay. But what happens after the acute stage or the initial stage of pain passes? Um, can resting too much, resting your elbow too much, or completely resting your elbow, can that cause your tennis elbow pain to actually get worse? So, in today's video, we are going to discuss more on this, and I'm going to give you some strategies that you can use instead of doing complete rest for your elbow, and that will help you to manage your pain better. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain. I also talk about other joint conditions such as heel spurs and tennis elbow because these are the ones that I have gone through. And on top of this, I also had adrenal fatigue, which is basically low energy levels and lack of focus. So when you have these two, it's very difficult to manage your aches and pains, leave alone just getting through your day. So I give you simple exercises, easy lifestyle modification, tips and tricks that have helped me in the hope that it helps you too. And so let's get into the topic for today without taking more of your time because, hey, we're moms, we're busy people. So let's talk about why resting your elbow might be making your tennis elbow worse and what can you actually do about it. Now, as we were saying, completely resting your elbow can cause stiffness and weakness in your muscles and tendons. Now, we're talking about arm, forearm, the whole area, right? So now this can also slow down your healing that is going on, and it can potentially increase the pain in your elbow when you eventually return to activity. Or it could even lead to issues like recurrent tennis elbow, right? So if you've been resting using a hot pack, cold pack, and you've been avoiding movement at all costs, but your pain keeps lingering on, or maybe even getting more intense, it's time for a more effective strategy, instead of just resting. So, don't get me wrong, rest is important, especially in that initial stages of inflammation. But if you have this prolonged inactivity, even after that acute stage has subsided, acute as in the initial few days or say a week or 10 days of tennis elbow, that muscle weakness, that slower healing that I was talking about, that can creep in. So what you can do is you can think about some gentle, strategic, like easy movements to restore the circulation and activate the muscles around your forearm, elbow, etc., without overloading them. Now, when I say slow and gentle movements, it can be very variable from person to person or even from one episode of tennis elbow to another. Now, what happens is, for example, if I'm doing wrist movements, right? And I move my wrist up and I get pain at, say, this angle here. So we are at about, say, 45 degrees. I'm going to stop a little short of the pain. Now, this may be different for you. It may be different from when you had your previous tennis elbow episode to another one. So see what works for you. So don't push into that pain. I would recommend that you get into that movement. If it's stretchy, it's still okay. But if you are bordering on the edge of pain, that's still tolerable. However, if you have pain, stop before the pain actually starts. So you don't want to aggravate the pain here. You're just trying to do some controlled movements to keep the area supple and moving, right? Now, another thing, remember in tennis elbow, as I was talking earlier, it is also your forearm, arm, and sometimes your neck and shoulder also gets involved. The issue is not always in your elbow itself. So Just backing up, in case you are confused or not familiar with the term tennis elbow, what that means is basically this outer part of the elbow. So, not the point of your elbow, this outer part, the bony part of your elbow here. So, the outer part, when this gets inflammation and the tendons or muscles that are attached to it are the ones that are sitting on this side of your forearm, when these muscles get inflamed, obviously they cross over into your fingers. I mean, they go through the wrist and they cross over into your fingers. Movements such as, say, if I'm holding a bottle and I'm pouring water through this, or if I'm turning a doorknob, wringing some clothes, kneading the dough, any actions that use these extensors or these forearm muscles will cause pain. Now, because you have a continuous sheet or like a covering, that's a fascia that goes from here, from the extensor tendons here into the triceps and up the arm, sometimes that pain can also travel up, right? So it can, so that's what I meant by the pain. The issue with tennis elbow is sometimes not just in the elbow. You also have to look at your posture. You have to see if you're doing any repetitive activities, if you have any weakness in the muscles in your shoulder, arms, wrist, upper back, etc. Because when these areas are not working in conjunction to get, rather they're not working well together, your elbow can take the brunt of it, especially when it's your weak spot, especially when you've got tennis elbow going on there. So you can work on things like postural alignment, strengthening, even ergonomic habits. What I mean is you don't need like of hours and hours of change. You just need a few intentional shifts. Now, if you're looking for more details on the postural alignment and ergonomic habits that I'm talking about, it'll be too much to cover in the video here. So what I've done is I have written a blog on the same topic. I will leave a link to the blog in the description of this video on Instagram. You can find it in my bio. If you're a busy mom and you can't find it or really can't be bothered to look for it, message me, comment below, I'll send it to you. So that blog has the details on how to check your posture. So it's like got a posture reset in there. It's got some ergonomic changes that are specific to tennis elbow that you can work on. It also has other details on desk-based exercises, etc. Now, and a video in there which is relevant to what we're talking about. Now, desk-based exercises, I mentioned this. So remember when you have tennis elbow, you don't want to completely rest that elbow, but you also want to be doing some purposeful movements sprinkled throughout your day, not just for your elbow, but for the rest of the chain, as in the rest of the body as well. It keeps your, it helps you in two ways. Firstly, of course, it'll keep the movement going. It also helps you to calm your nervous system down because both of these are essential for recovery. You might think, oh, it's just my elbow. What has the nervous system got to do with it? But when your nervous system is in that stress mode or go, go, go mode, it's not able to focus on the healing itself. So that's how these two are connected. I mean, that's a very brief overview, but that's how they are connected. Now, another thing that I wanted to highlight to you here in the video is I have a course which is called Simple Solutions to Manage Your Tennis Elbow. It is designed specifically for people who want those fast, sustainable, however, those long-term sustainable, as I said, results without taking away a big chunk of your time. So I have left a link to that course in my blog itself. Again, the link to the blog is in my bio on Instagram, or it'll be below this video if you're watching on any other platform. Now, that um, course on tennis elbow, how to manage your tennis elbow, it is packed with value. However, I tried to make it low cost so that it is easily accessible. So have a look at that and see if it resonates with you or it is something that you want to look at because really with tennis elbow, it interferes with your productivity, your workout, your daily life, everything really. So ice, rest, brace, these are just temporary solutions, but what you need is a proactive recovery plan that actually works in your everyday schedule. All right, so I'll leave you with that. If you have any questions, any comments for me today, or if I've used any terms or any words that are not familiar to you and you want me to explain them further, please drop that in the comments below and I will address it for you. Alrighty, I hope you found it